Hey guys, Katy Huller here with KidsCanReadAndWrite.com. I know a lot of you are really interested in reading some big words, so I wanted to make another video helping you figure out how to piece these big words together. Let's get started. So remember, when you come across a big word and you don't know what it says, don't panic. Big words are just parts put together. So if you can read small words, well, you can learn to read big words too. So let's take a look at the first one. What I like to do is find the vowels. The vowels in the word are like the glue. They hold parts together. So if you can find the vowels, you can cut up the word into much smaller parts, which are much easier on the eyes and make it really easy to figure out words if you know the basics to reading. If you watch my other videos, you'll know you really need to know 5 things to read words: letters, sounds, a good blending technique, tricks, which are those letters working together to make new sounds than we typically teach letters and sounds make, and some outlaw words. Now, some parts of the words you just have to kind of twist a little bit, but today we're going to do some pretty straightforward ones where you just need to know letters, sounds, a good blending technique, and some tricks. And I'll go over those tricks with you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is find our vowels. Remember, the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. Okay, so if you see a vowel, here's one. That's our glue. We're going to glue it on to that next letter. And this is the easiest way to break up words. There are a lot more rules if you want to learn the official, like Webster's dictionary way, but I'm going to show you kind of a life hack for breaking up big words. It's going to make it easy, even if you don't know all the real rules. So find your next vowel, go one past, break it. Now, A-B-L-E at the end of a word is a suffix. And even though it looks like an L-E bossing an A, able, it's not. It's able when it's used at the end of words. So when we get here, we have to know that trick or we're probably going to get tricked. So remember, A-B-L-E at the end of a long word usually says able, okay? So here we go. It means able, but we say able. So here we go. We're going to read the first part. Un. See how I just glue that on? Then we're going to read the next part. St, op, st, op. These are blends. We're going to blend them together. St, op, stop. So far we have un and st, op. Un, stop. Now, do you remember what that A-B-L-E says at the end of a word? I hope so. It says able. So we're going to go un, st, op, able. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. Now, some people would argue you don't need to make that sound. You could just put it on this side, and that's pretty much what happens. But if you have it over here, it's going to still work. Unstoppable. 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 Now, the trouble is hearing what you're actually saying. Un means not. It's a prefix. Stop is our root word. This extra P is added to protect the short vowel from this trick ending. Anything that's considered like a suffix is a trick ending. If it can reach the vowel, it would boss it. It would make that O say O. So we don't want it to, so we double the P. Whatever letter's in the middle gets to double. Become a superhero for the day and protect that vowel. So That's a great thing to know for spelling. It just means this is a short vowel here. They're protecting it from that suffix or trick ending. So unstoppable, unstoppable, unstoppable. And you are unstoppable, right? If you never give up, you are unstoppable. No one can stop you really except yourself. So remember that. Never give up. Even if this is a little hard, a little confusing, don't give up. Be unstoppable. All right. For this word, let's find those vowels. Remember, A, E, I, O, and U. And we're going to glue it on to that next sound. And then we find our next vowel, glue it on to that next sound. Now notice we have doubles again. And we have another suffix. And so that we're going to keep together. So just like this one where these two could really be together, we can choose and just keep these together here because this is a suffix. If you have a suffix at the end, just scoot that double letter this way and just say it once. It'll be easier. So let's see. Now we need to check. Do we have any tricks? Well, we have this suffix, so you need to know what that says. If you sound it out, you can kind of hear it. Full, full, full. It's really full. That's what we say for F-U-L at the end of a word, full. If you were writing full as just a word on its own, it would have two L's. When it's used as a suffix at the end of a word, it only has one. F-U-L says full. It means full of whatever the root word is. It's a suffix. So that's why they protected this E. Anytime there's a trick ending or a suffix, they're going to try to boss the vowel if they can reach it. So if you don't want it to, you double the letter in between. All right, so we have one trick in here other than that suffix, which is the C-E-C-I-C-Y trick. In this case, C is poking that E. And if you haven't seen my CE video, pretty sure I have it out there. I know it's in the Black Belt reading program if you need it. But the C, when he touches an E, I, or Y, when his hands, see his hands touching the E, I, or Y, he pretends he's a snake and he goes S. And that makes the E shout out whatever it was saying in the word. In this case, we know it's a short vowel because we have the superheroes protecting him. So this would be S, ses, right? Now notice this C is touching a C. So that's not the C-E-C-I-C-Y trick. That's just a regular old C. That's going to say K. So when we read this word, we go suck, suck. Now here's the trick one. S, ses, suck, ses. And do you remember this? Full. So when we put all of that together, we get success, success, full, successful, which means full of success. So if you are successful in reading these words, congratulations. If not, keep practicing, be unstoppable, and soon you will be successful. All right, let's try this one. So again, your first step, find your vowels. And remember, you have to have a good blending technique. So if you're sounding these out and you don't have a good blending technique, that's going to make it a lot harder. So we have to really use those vowels as glue and glue them onto the next sound. So in this case, we've got our vowels, we've broken it into parts. Remember, this is the quick and dirty way to break up words. Don't go consulting Webster's if you want to use a quick and dirty way. But this is how kids learn to read and write those big words. If you'll teach this little hack to them, it makes it so much easier for kids with visual processing issues who get all confused when they see a bunch of letters together. It just looks too confusing. You have to train them to see the word in parts and show them how to go through it and group maybe 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together, then all 4 together until they can hear it. That's the real trick to helping your kids read these really big words, or to helping you read them if you're struggling. All right, so now we need to know. So we found our vowels, we broke up the word, but we also need to look for tricks. If we don't know the tricks that are hidden in words, guess what? We get tricked. So you have to know the trick. In this case, there's a GE trick. And just like the CE, CI, CY, the C would make its soft sound when it touches that E, I, or Y. Well, G makes its soft sound when it touches an E, I, or Y. And I know I have that video out, so look for it if you want to learn how to read words with GE, GI, and GY. But here, the G says, do you want to jump rope with me? When he sees his buddy E, I, or Y. So here we go, let's read it. The E, I, or Y, remember, he still has to do his chores before he can start jumping rope with the G. So he's going to still say whatever he said before. In this case, because nobody's bossing him. All right, so here we go. We read the first part first. What is that? In. Then the second part, L. See how easy it is when all you have to read is a little bitty part? So we can put these two together, in, tell, and then we can keep going. L, I, remember this G saw his buddy E, L, idge, lidge, and then the final part. Ent. Now, the tricky part, if you have any kind of processing issues, is hearing what you're saying. So you might go through in, tell, lidge, ent. And you might not hear the word. You might be like, I don't know what that says still. Well, that's okay. Put 1 and 2 together. In, tell. Then put 3 and 4 together. Lidge, ent. Lidgent. Now put all of it together. Intel, ligent. Intel, ligent. And for kids who are struggling to read these words, give them, 4 or 5 even times. Sometimes it's just 3. How many fingers am I holding up? Sometimes just 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 25. It really, depends. It's as many times as your child needs it to hear the word. Okay, so that might take 10 minutes in the beginning to put this word together if they're not hearing it. But you just want to keep giving them the opportunity. And sometimes what I'll do is tell them, put one finger up for the first, second finger for the second, third for the third, fourth for the fourth, so that they don't leave out a part. Because what happens to a lot of kids with processing issues is one of these is going to disappear. And you never really know which one, but my guess is it would be somewhere in here. And so they'll keep saying the word and they keep forgetting to say that part. So you have to keep pointing at it while they say it. In, tell, lidge, ent. In, tell, lidge, ent. And you might want to try to put 1, 2, and 3 together. Intellidge, intellige, and then add 4. Ent. You can play around with it a little bit until you find what works best for you or your child. But usually it takes a while if you're dealing with somebody with processing issues. So be patient and just stay calm, take your deep breath, and know that every time they sound it out, it's not a waste of time. They're mapping it in their brain. They're teaching their brain how to say it. I always tell a story about these sticks we use in Taekwondo. And we have this form where you have to know certain moves using these long sticks. Well, in the form, you have to twirl one down while twirling the other up. And then you kind of switch and switch and switch like this. Well, when I first had to do that, Every time I would get to the middle, one would be coming up, one would be coming down. They'd either both end up going down or both end up going up. It almost drove me crazy. It took me 3 days of practicing to get my brain to let one go up while the other went down as I spun them around. And now it's no problem at all because my brain learned how to do it. But it took a while. And I always tell my kids about this when they get frustrated on these big words, because it is frustrating, but it's not impossible. And I want you to remember that hard does not mean impossible. And if your kids feel like it's impossible, please tell them hard does not mean impossible. It just means to keep trying. Because if we don't give up, we become unstoppable and successful. And the more unstoppable and successful we are, the more intelligent we become. And that, my friends, is absolutely, say it with me, incredible. So we want to keep trying even when it's hard. And remember to be patient, to be kind, and to inspire your little ones who are struggling with those big words, because it's not impossible. There's a favorite phrase of mine in Taekwondo. It was said by our grandmaster: today impossible, tomorrow possible. And those are words I really like to live by, because I've seen so many things that were seemingly impossible become possible when I just didn't give up. So I hope you won't give up. I hope you'll be unstoppable, successful, intelligent, and I already know that you're incredible just the way you are. So keep practicing, keep trying, and let me know if you have any more questions. And if you need a program that goes through all of these tricks with smaller words that grow bigger over time, look up the Black Belt Reading Program. If you're dealing with an older student who needs a lot of big words from the start, let me know, because I can send you packets for those big words. Once you purchase the program, I'll send you the more advanced packets to supplement, and that will help your child read lots of big words and move them up to grade level much faster than keeping them on the smaller words and waiting until the end to get to the big words. Either way, by the end, they'll be reading big words. But if your kids are older, they probably have a lot memorized. In the Black Belt Reading Program that's for sale right now, unless I've already changed it, is really for first graders, second graders, third graders who are really, really struggling, just learning to read. But the older kids, if your kids are reading quite a bit and you're looking for a reading program that to help fill in all those gaps where they're guessing words and all that, then you really need the more advanced packet. So make sure you contact me, and if you purchase the program and contact me, I will then send you packets with the bigger words so that you get that practice, what's right for your kids. And if you want to talk up to me and see, what would be right for my child, just drop me an email or call me and we'll chat about it and see what we think might be most appropriate for you. So again, guys, thanks for joining me today. Remember, make sure your kids know those vowels, break up the words, have a good blending technique, and then know the tricks so that they can spot them and use them as they sound out words. And of course, some words are just going to be wacky, and those you have to learn to adjust. But we can take a lot of the memory out of it once we learn these little tricks. So hope this helps, and hope you have a great day, and I hope you'll join me again. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.